If you guys have been following the channel, you would know that I've been extremely optimistic about Chapter 6, specifically about Battle Royale. Now, I've been optimistic about pretty well everything that Epic Games has been doing, but I have kind of changed my tune on it a little bit. I am now more worried about Chapter 6 than I ever have been, and I'm more pessimistic than I am optimistic. I'm going to tell you why in this video, and I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below afterwards. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. It's important to note, by the way, that no matter what, I'm still going to have a very open mind. I'm going to be ready to play whatever Epic Games has for us, but my whole tune changed for this once we got the announcement of OG Chapter 1 returning. Of course, as we all know, we're having OG Chapter 1 come back all the way from Season 1 to Season X. So there's always going to be an alternative to Chapter 6. As hype as this is, and as excited as I am to relive some of the greatest moments in Fortnite history, I have always really enjoyed modern Fortnite better besides Chapter 5. And this is one of the reasons that I'm really worried. Before this video, before this whole announcement, I was really on the point because Chapter 5 Season 4 was so good, and in my opinion, I know it's a little bit up for debate, but I think that Epic Games has done a good job improving Chapter 5 as time has gone on. I know all of a sudden, everybody all of a sudden has nostalgia for Chapter 5 Season 1, but that wasn't really the case, except like when it was brand new, people liked it, but people got tired of Chapter 5 Season 1 very quickly. It's funny how nostalgia affects everybody quickly, but in saying that, you viewer, before you comment down below, you may still like it, but I think the nostalgia is starting to affect a lot of people. Regardless, I think that they've done a really good job as time has gone on improving Chapter 5. And Chapter 5 Season 4 was so good that I was kind of sitting here and being like, hey, Epic Games learned a ton from the player base of what they like, what they don't like, if they need to split different loopholes, different things like that. And I was very hopeful about Chapter 6. They've been sending out a ton of surveys on whether or not people like hit scan. They have all of the stuff that people loved from Reload that they could implement into Battle Royale. There was a lot they could have learned from, and they even gave us a banger Halloween event. I'm starting to think that I was correct in assuming that that season was only so good because Disney was involved, but I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best. I'm not saying that is exactly what happened. I'm just personally really worried. So I thought with all of this information, Chapter 6 was going to be fantastic, but now we have the announcement of Fortnite OG Chapter 1 returning. The reason that this kind of changed my tune is because I think this is more so going to be the direction that Fortnite decides to go with, keeping it like Chapter 5, keeping the bullet drop, keeping the attachments. And I know there are people out there that like it, but I would say, and I know that it's up for debate, I would say the vast majority of the player base prefers Fortnite prior to Chapter 5 and how the game kind of felt with the movement, with the graphics, with the bullet drop, with the attachments. Now, attachments is something that could definitely improve, but hit scan's something that I think like the majority of the player base really wants back. My point being, like, the way that Chapter 5 kind of worked wasn't really what the player base really wanted. And Reload has been a fantastic alternative to that. I love Fortnite Reload. That's all that I've been playing for pretty well the past year. Besides Chapter 5 Season 4, they gave me a reason with all the fun mythics to come back and play, but even then, I was still playing Reload. I'm thinking that Epic Games is bringing back Chapter 1 permanently, which is something that we've never seen before, to have an alternative to play with people who don't like Chapter 6. I believe that's going to be the case. I think that they're going to continue with what they've done through Chapter 5. They're going to keep the same flow of the game, the same graphics, all that stuff. And if you don't like it, then you can go play Fortnite OG. You can go play Chapter 1. And to be honest with you, I wasn't going to bring this up until later on in the video, but I think it's a good time to bring this up right now. I just made a video recapping how everybody felt about Chapter 1. You should check out, by the way. It was a great video. Everybody's really happy about it. But Clark and Cyan actually made some really good points. Clark's tweet really made me think because I was looking at this completely from a negative perspective, but here, I'll read you the tweet, okay? This is what he had to say about it. This is a really interesting topic. I'd love to know what you guys think about it in the comments. One thing I'm starting to think may be a possibility is that Epic may try to make Chapter 6 a more similar to OG to keep people on the game longer. Doesn't mean that it'll be a one-for-one, but I think they may take older gameplay loops into consideration for the more newer era of Fortnite. Hit scan, new trap slots, etc. This way, older players who try out the newer version doesn't feel alienated. Fingers crossed. And what Cyan had to say in reply to that, and I'm more so on Cyan's side for this. I honestly think it's the exact opposite. They're giving OG to people who don't like the new gameplay loop, while they still want to have fun experimenting on new chapters and have a completely different vibe in them. I hate to be this guy. I hate being negative. I really do, because I love this game. I'm a pretty positive guy, and to be honest with you, like, when I'm being negative about this, I just see a negative outcome from this. It doesn't affect my life in any way, so I just don't think that I'm going to be doom and gloom playing this game. I'm still going to enjoy myself, okay? I have a very, very difficult time seeing Clark being right here, but I hope to God that he's right. I hope he's right. And of course, like, none of us know. I can't sit here and say that he's wrong. I just don't think that's really likely. But to his point, honestly, when people come back to Fortnite, maybe this is something that Epic Games has been thinking about, because when people came back for Fortnite OG, I know we had some really good numbers in Chapter 5, but and this is also, I hate to use my own personal life about it, but this is the only way that I could really relate to it. I know a lot of people in my personal life, whether it's work, close friends, just people around me that came back to Fortnite the first time that OG came back. They tried Chapter 5, not nearly all of them, but for the people who did try Chapter 5, they didn't like Chapter 5, and then they took off again. And some of those same people are coming back for Chapter 2 OG. Maybe this is Epic Games. If they're bringing back OG, maybe Clark's right in the sense, because if they keep Chapter 6 to a similar style to OG, things like the trap slots, hit scan, things that he mentioned like that, maybe then those returning players for Fortnite Chapter 1 will be inclined to try Chapter 6, especially if they're returning for Chapter 1, because I believe the vast majority of people are blinded by nostalgia when it comes to Chapter 1, Season 1, and Season 2. If you want to talk about Season 3 all the way to Season 9, then I will say you are not blinded by nostalgia. There is a lot of great fun to be had in Fortnite, but this is how I imagine a lot of the player base going, okay? People coming back to the game, and if they riddle the map with bot lobbies, if just the vast majority of each game is filled with bots, then it's safe. Then ignore my point here, okay? That's the fix for it. Let's say that doesn't happen, though. Everybody comes back. Everybody's excited to relive the OG days of Chapter 1, Season 1. The map's bland. Nothing's on it. There's nowhere to go. There's just open area. And then all of these great players are beaming you with their hit scan weapons. And then you're going to go, oh my God, what happened to my game? It's not the same anymore. Meanwhile, like, what they want is for people to like walk around missing every single shotgun shot. There's fun in that. Don't get me wrong. It's just unrealistic to expect the player base to come back and really play like a bot, right? If they fill the lobby with bots, then I can see this changing and everybody will be okay with it. I'm against bots personally, but bots are needed for a lot of the returning player base, okay? So, what are they going to do? If they still want to play Fortnite, maybe they'll try out Chapter 6. And if it's a similar experience to OG, maybe it'll be great for them. I don't know. That's just me hoping. That's me hoping. But regardless, I do think that's how people are going to come back to Fortnite OG in Chapter 1. The map wasn't good. If we got a map that was in Chapter 1, Season 1, or Chapter 2, Season 2 as a brand new map today, the community would be outraged. You gotta wait until Season 3 for it to actually really pick up. And maybe Season 4, but I would say Season 3 is pretty safe. But the reason that I'm open to Clark being right here is because Epic Games' goal with the metaverse is to have everybody playing a bunch of different modes, or have the whole Find It in Fortnite model. Maybe there's something that you don't like here, but maybe there's something that you will like here. Whatever you want to play, you will be able to play in Fortnite. If they're bringing back Chapter 1 and going to have it permanently, that means people might actually be able to go check out those other modes. If they're checking out Chapter 6 and to make them stick around, it's going to have to be similar to OG. It's going to have to be similar to Chapter 2 at the very least. But in saying all of that, unfortunately, I do not think that's the case. I'm completely with Cyan. I think it is the exact opposite of what Clark is saying, which he totally could be right. I hope he's right. I hope I'm wrong on this. I just can't see that Epic Games is adding this back to make it similar to Chapter 6. That would be great, and it would make sense. If you want all your returning players to keep playing, I think that it's more likely the case that it's an alternative for the players to, if they don't like Chapter 6, because so many people didn't like the game in Chapter 5. And honestly, guys, besides the first couple seasons, I will absolutely be playing Chapter 1 instead of Chapter 6 if the game feels similar to Chapter 5. I have tried my best to like the way that Chapter 5 plays. I just don't. I'm playing Reload. First couple seasons, I'll be playing Reload still. I'd still play Reload. It's probably my favorite game mode, to be honest with you, but once we go back to Chapter 1, Season 3, then I'll be playing OG Fortnite, and that's totally okay. I like that we're going to have that alternative. And something that I forgot to mention too is, and I wholeheartedly believe this is the strongest reason for them bringing back Chapter 1. It has nothing to do with Chapter 6, and it's just so they can have that loophole to bring old battle passes back. Now, what's interesting, I had a couple comments saying that, like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there are something in the terms of Epic Games where they could, like, change your mind at any time. That actually made me change my tune on this whole topic just a little bit, but I still think it's wrong for Epic Games to bring it back. don't go hating on me in the comments. I don't care if they come back, okay? So many people have been acting like I'm so passionate about this discussion. I'm like, I just think it's a little slimy for Epic to do, okay? That's not what I think. Don't jump the gun on that. I don't care if they come back, okay? But I do believe that more so than anything, what's most likely is that Epic Games is only bringing this back so they have an easy loophole in order to bring back the old Battle Pass cosmetics, because the amount of profit that they will get from it is insane. I can't imagine how much money they're going to make from bringing all of the Battle Passes back. I selfishly hope that that means we're going to get Chapter 2, 3, and 4's return. I think that would be awesome. I would love to relive that. Let me relive Mega. Let me relive Chapter 1 or Chapter 3 Season 1. I want to swing around with Spider-Man. I want to visit Colombo, the weather. I want Invasion. I want to relive Season X. I am very excited for the potential that all of this could come about, but it does make me worry for the future of Fortnite. It makes me worried for the future of Battle Royale specifically. If Chapter 6 is going to continue to follow the patterns of Chapter 5, then I can see myself getting detached from the new updates of Battle Royale, and I'll just be looking to replay what I did love previously. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's still going to be a ton of creative modes that I'm personally invested in. I'm still going to look forward to the reload map rotations. I can play this game until the end of time, but I'm also in a very, very special circumstance where I'm somebody who's easy to please. And I don't mean to come off and be like, oh, look how much better I am than you guys. Like, I truthfully don't, I don't mean, I know how that can sound. I'm just easy to please. I'm easy to make happy. Okay, so if I don't like Chapter 6, then I'm going to go play something in creative. That's just me. And I don't imagine that's the case for a lot of people playing this game or even watching this video. Now, if that does happen, though, and I actually find myself getting detached from Battle Royale because, again, I don't like the flow of the game in Chapter 5. I don't like what they've done with Chapter 2 Remix. I don't like that the live events could forever just be changed to things like concerts. And that's fine if you like it. It's just not for me. I'm going to be sad if I'm going to get detached from following all of the updates from this game. No matter what, I'm going to pay attention, but I just won't be nearly as passionate. I'll be more excited to play something like OG. And I think it's really cool, to be honest with you, that we're going to have that as an alternative. I love the fact that Reload has been a thing for half the year. It's really kept me playing Fortnite. I have played Reload more than I have played Chapter 5, and it's not even close. And that's okay. I'm just glad that we have an alternative. It makes me a little bit sad. It makes me worried for the future of Battle Royale in Chapter 6. I hope that it's going to be fantastic. I've always said that I'm sure it was going to be fantastic, but now that we have this coming, I'm worried that it's just an alternative for the people who don't like Fortnite Chapter 6, because they're going to continue with the style of gameplay, with the style of graphics, with the lackluster story, with the add live events. I'm very, very worried about that personally, and I hope that I'm wrong. I really do. I hope that Clark Clint is right. I hope that Cyan and I are wrong on this. This is honestly a very interesting topic though, guys, and I would love to hear from you in the comments what you think about this all the way. Am I being too pessimistic? And it's weird for me to be pessimistic, to be honest with you. It's very, very weird, because typically I'm optimistic. The entire year, I've been optimistic about getting off this map and going on to Chapter 6. So I'd love to hear from you down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. But speaking of both Cyan and Clark, if you guys want to hear a little bit more from them specifically, we do have an interview getting to know both of them. You can check out one of those two videos on screen right now. I would love to have you over there. Take care, everybody.